Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Guillermo. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, or full playthrough, random thoughts, tier list, rankings, comment, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. PayPal is the best way to do it. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box. And this is for Big Bad Wolf from 2006, which I didn't realize my friend Michael Keane, the Choice Voice, he reviewed this film about 4 or so years ago. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I think the director actually responded to his review because it was a positive review, and I thought that was nice of the guy. Lance, is it Dreesen? So I butchered the last name, but this is a werewolf film that I thought was okay at the end of the day. Just to say it up front, I thought it was okay. It stars Trevor Duke, Kimberly Brown, Richard Tyson. I definitely think Richard Tyson was the best part of this movie. For those who don't know, Richard Tyson, he was the bad guy in Kindergarten Cop. He's been in a few other films here and there and TV shows. But I've always liked Richard Tyson whenever I've seen him in a movie or find him in something. I think he always does good work. I know he was on this TV show called Hardball with him and the late John Ashton from Beverly Hills Cop. It was a short-lived TV show, called Hardball. But yeah, Richard Tyson, he plays our villain in the movie, so he's very good at that. There's some pretty good gore throughout the film, too. The werewolf, at times, looks like a Bigfoot, I will admit. It is done practically, except for one really terrible CGI transformation, but I do appreciate a lot of it's done practically. Also, like, the wolf at times talks like Freddy Krueger, which I didn't expect that. There's not a whole lot of werewolf films where your werewolf talks smack like that. I didn't like Freddy Krueger. It's definitely an un-PC film. There are moments you get to see the titties. There are other moments that pop up. I'm like, okay, well that... okay. I could appreciate that. That was a bit different. So, the setup of the film, Big Bad Wolf in 2006, is... we have this opening in Africa where this guide is killed. His head's been torn off. And then this other guy, he's scared out of his mind. Eventually, the werewolf attacks him and he gets his leg torn off. The guy dies, and the other guy who's trying to help is his brother, who is the character of Charlie. Charlie will pop up later in the film as one of the main characters. Meanwhile, we are in the States, and we have our main character played by Trevor Duke. His father was the guy that died in Africa. Or one of the guys who died in Africa. The one who got his leg torn off. So, Trevor Duke, he plays the character Derek. He is a guy who is in his shell. He doesn't want to stick up for himself. He has his friend, played by Kimberly Brown, who is a tomboy. Her name is Sam. She's got piercings. I liked her. I thought she was a bit of a badass. She had a good head on her shoulders. She did a pretty decent job acting. I did like her. So he's friends with her. He's trying to get in this fraternity, but they don't respect him. He loves his mom. His mom is with this asshole played by Richard Tyson. And so you tell that the lead, he's a bit scared, and he, even though the stepdad does not treat his mom well, and he's drunk a lot, he, like, can barely stand up for her, and barely stand up for himself, because he's a weakling. He's a pussy. One leads to another. Him, or his tomboy friend Sam, and 4 others are on go to this cabin because the lead stole one of the keys from Richard Tyson. They go to his cabin. They go there. A werewolf comes by, kills a good chunk of them, except our 2 leads, Derek and Sam. And they go back, and they think it's Richard Tyson, but then they have to prove it. That's when the uncle, Charlie, who we saw at the beginning of the film, he comes in, he believes them, and the 3 of them try to figure out how to prove this and what to do next about it. Now, first off, I think the acting for the most part is pretty good. Like I said, I really did like Kimberly Brown. I thought she had some spunk, no pun intended, which I'll get to, and some inner, like, she was, again, good. I didn't find any issues with her acting. Richard Tyson, he's good at playing the dick, and he plays it very natural. Loved him in 3 O'Clock High. Can't forget that. Loved him in that. So I thought that was a really good choice. Like, for example, when the wife is kind of wondering about, are you messing around? It's like, I have a job I gotta go to. I have a business trip, okay? I'm late for my weekend fuck fest. Richard Tyson, I would say he's my favorite part of the movie. He's good at playing a dick. Clint Howard, it was nice to see Clint Howard in here. He's a good character actor. Mr. Ice Cream Man, various other stuff. He's pretty much there as a guy whose car is broken down. The lady Sam, she fixes it. He thanks her, and he warns him not to go up there. Sad he's only in one scene, but it was nice to see him in there. I'm glad they didn't have him play him like a dick or just a weirdo. I could see someone else make him like a pervert, like looking at the women's asses and nice honkers. He just was a decent guy. He was just a decent guy who's thanked them and warned them, hey, be careful. Some of the humor, the NPC humor, some of it was kind of a bit crazy. Which I'll get into the spoilers starting now. Some of it I thought was kind of, okay, what the fuck? Like the other people that go with our 2 leads. One guy gets horny by being demoralized. Like they're trying to make, him and the girl are trying to make it. And the guy's like, how about you tell me that I'm a piece of shit and you want to make me wear your underwear? And she's like, I don't want to treat you like that. Oh, fine, you want to do such boring vanilla sex. So I get what they're doing. But it's just like, okay, what the fuck? What's this guy's deal? But it is someone in a practical werewolf suit. The face I thought the body looked a bit cheap, but the face thought looked fine. And yeah, I mean, you get like the girl that just killed, her tits around. There's blood on the tits, and he's grabbing it. There's Gore where a guy, his legs have been pulled off from the knees down. Earlier in the film, there's a leg pulled off. There's a bit where someone gets killed by the werewolf doing this and ripping the top of their head off from the mouth up, like tearing that off. One gets impaled, this is later on, punched through the stomach, impaled through the stomach. One gets their head twisted off. So there's some pretty good gore stuff in there. It's a decently bloody film. For the most part, it's practical, except there's one really bad transformation scene that's CGI. It sticks out like a sore thumb, because for the most part, the other stuff is practical, except for that scene. And I know I read on my friend's review, the director in the comments said, yeah, that's a regret I have. I don't know, I think it might have been like either it was time and budget, or maybe he was pushed to do that when he thinks he should not have done that. I don't know. There's even a point where the werewolf rips someone's dick off. I'm like, oh, he must have seen Night of the Demon. That wasn't a werewolf, but still someone that, a bit for the lights ripping dicks off. So maybe that's why I kept thinking this thing looked like a Bigfoot, to maybe make me think of Night of the Demon. He even takes a woman and fucks her, and then he's like, "Was that your bitch, champ?" Not anymore. So again, I'm like, I didn't expect the werewolf to like try to talk like Freddy Krueger, but I mean, I don't know if Richard Tyson was in the suit. I would assume he did the voice, but they altered the voice. I would assume so, but I don't know if he was in the suit, or they probably had someone else in the suit. I would assume they had Richard Tyson do the voice, but they didn't alter it. But I will admit there's some lines that I thought were kind of funny, and I didn't see coming. I didn't expect the werewolf to talk, let alone talk like this. There's a fun cameo. The sheriff is David Naughton, who of course was in An American Werewolf in London. I thought he was going to play a bigger role because you see him like on TV, then he pops up in one scene, then you never see him again. And yeah, I do like some of the un-PC stuff. Like there's a bit where, in spoilers, they needed some DNA evidence, so they're trying to get hair or stuff. Well, the girl Sam is cornered by Richard Tyson, and she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want to be found out, hurt, killed, whatever. So she's kind of goes along with giving a blowjob. When it's done, you see that she spits something out, and then she gives it to the Uncle Charlie and says, "Don't ask and don't tell Derek about it." So a semen sample. Not something you think of or seen every day. Now, thankfully, it doesn't show all the gory details of that, but okay, one thing I was not a fan of, that at the end of the day I thought it was okay. I did not like the lead character at all. I didn't. I liked Kimberly Brown a lot more. I liked even the Uncle Charlie I could deal with more. The lead guy I did not like. I get the idea is that he's a pansy, and by the end he'll stand up for himself. I thought by then it was too little too late, and there's just so many instances of this guy being a pansy, a pussy, Derek the pussy, the pussinator, the bitch. I mean, this girl has more balls than you. She got a bigger dick than you. I just was so annoyed by this guy that by the end of spoilers, they seemingly kill the werewolf, but then he's been bit or scratched or whatever, and so now he's cursed. I'm like, good. Might as well put a silver bowl in his head and make it a day. I don't care. I don't feel sorry for this guy. I don't. It's not Trevor Duke's acting, but it's just that I get what they're going with. I get the arc, but just so many times you're just such a fucking pussy. Where okay, he's a pussy. He doesn't stick up for his mom even though he wants to, and he's scared of his stepdad. I get that he's scared of his stepdad, so eventually he's not going to be scared of his stepdad. But then there's the bit where the werewolf early on grabs him, and the guy pisses his pants, and the werewolf goes, "What are you doing? Marking your territory?" And then doesn't do anything, and then the girl has to do stuff for them to get the fuck out. when they escape. And I deal with it, but there's just so many times throughout that he just got grating in his patheticness. At times I thought this character was just a bit too fucking pathetic. Even when he finds out that the girl did the sucking, they did the thing, and he gets pissed at her, and I'm like, oh, they do it from her point of view. Your stepdad, in a way, forced, because she didn't, I guarantee you she didn't want to do it, and to give this guy a blowjob. If my personal friend told me that, I would be like, fuck you, you bitch. I'd be like, oh man, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm sorry, are you okay? Is there anything I could do, like, mentally, like, psychologically? Be a friend. But he's just a dick. Can't believe he did that. What, do you think she wanted to eat his ass too afterward? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you fucking idiot. I didn't like this guy. I didn't. I really didn't. And even when the fight happens at the end, Kimberly Brown seemed more of a badass than this guy. This guy could barely hold a goddamn stick. This character probably could barely hold his fucking dick pissing. So he probably has to sit down and piss. I'm talking about the character, folks, not the actor. But this character's like, he's such a bitch, he probably sits down to piss. The way he holds his, I'm like, if that's how he holds his dick, no, he probably will be used to pissing his own fucking pants. He's done it once before. And then, like, at one point you have these three reporters, and these three reporters from school. I don't know, something about them, they came off like they were from the Disney Channel. Now they're there because they pop up at the end of the film, so we need to get more body count. Okay, I understand. Get a bit more body count. I'll give credit that he at least, in a way, does save his mom. Because they pack up and he tells his mom to go and I'll talk to you later. So interesting that, I've usually in films they would kill the mom off or the mom would be a hostage. But no, she gets away and she's fine. Which is, I didn't mind that bit of the story, the plot. But yeah, the Uncle Charlie, he finds out, he gets knocked out, he gets tied up. Yeah, this really horrible bad CGI transformation that Richard Tyson turns into. Rips the top of Charlie's head off. And then I like the way Darren's like, you killed my father, and you killed Uncle Charlie, and you're ready to kill your fucking chance at manhood. I don't know. I just didn't like this character. I really didn't. I get it. I'm not expecting to be fucking Rambo, but goddamn, man, I think. It's funny, like, we have the anniversary of Fright Night. Like, the original Fright Night, Charlie Brewster, that's a way of doing it. Where he's not He-Man, but he's a regular guy who does get scared, but he tries to do the best he can. He gets frightened. But I still never thought of him as a pussy, either. The Charlie Brewster character. Like, the way that's done, I thought was handled fairly well. Here... So that, and sometimes the body of the werewolf seemed a little bit more like ape, Bigfoot type of, so I wasn't 100% buying the body. The face, I thought was pretty decent. Again, sometimes when the werewolf talks was kind of funny, sometimes it was so goofy what he said that any amount of tension was dissipated. Because he says something so goofy or so out there on PC that, again, any amount of tension was kind of taken away. Oh, the werewolf said but this. So I don't really think this movie was meant to be scary or anything. And even the fight at the end, I thought the fight at the end was kind of weak. Just kind of, the Derek character doesn't know how to fight. He barely does shit. Thanks to Sam, the werewolf gets burnt. But then the werewolf's still alive, and the guy just stands there, and the werewolf impales himself. I just like, well, this guy ain't gonna fucking kill me. I better do it myself. And ooh, the lead guy is cursed. I'm like, I don't care. Then they ride off, and then after the end credits, you get a little bit of the werewolf's fingers moving. So now it's the sequel bad ending. So I guess he's not dead. So most of that was pointless because, okay, they know it, but they, he's gonna be alive again. Only now I guess Derek's gonna be a werewolf too. And he's like, oh, what are we going to do? And he's like, well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Well, this is a pretty big fucking thing to figure out. You sure you want him to go back to his mom? He's going to kill the mom or kill you or kill both of you. So, I don't know. So I was really big on the ending. I wasn't really big on the main character. But I did like Kimberly Brown. I did like some of the un-PC humor. Some of the gore is pretty decent. Richard Tyson, I thought, stole the show. I thought he was very good. Like, he's good as playing a dick. If you want to see a werewolf smack talk, hear him smack talk, here's a movie for you. You want to see a werewolf fucking a chick for a little bit, there's a movie for you. It is what it is. So, I thought it was okay at the end of the day. I've seen much better. I've seen much worse werewolf films. It was okay at the end of the day. I don't have to talk. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.